Gonna call the meeting to order. Roll call, Commissioner Tebow. Here. Commissioner Widdop.
Here.
Commissioner Sharp.
Here.
Commissioner Dennis Sheedy is here, and Commissioner Christian Sheedy is en route. Agenda item number 1. October 2019 warrant in the amount of $214,122.65.
I'll make a motion that we accept the October 2019 warrant for $214,122.65.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Widdop and coming in a second by Commissioner Sharp.
I'm matching those.
We good? Please let the record show that Commissioner Christian Sheedy arrived at 5:04. All right, any questions or concerns regarding the October warrant?
Yes. I noticed in a couple of places that the account titles didn't, were incorrect again. And so I have a general question. Is it a data entry or is it a software?
It can be both sometimes, if I don't double check it and it's already been memorized in there, but the fee accountants always reconcile, they don't even adjust off of these. They look at it and they put it to the appropriate account at all times. So we put it in there, but they don't really pay attention to that. They always allocate it to the right accounts, because what I consider an account, they might not consider the same account, and they're professionals in that, so they always double check that. But I know exactly what you're talking about, like on the rubbish one. One says rubbish and one says contract by others, and they adjust it.
There was one that even was like in payroll withholding or something by mistake.
Yeah.
Deferred comp withholding.
Yeah, deferred comp. And when I saw the bill for the software, I mean, I'm from, I retired, 6 years ago, and, the prices for software has skyrocketed, so it's like sticking me in the side when I read the bill, and I thought to myself, well, if this is a software problem, I'll be glad to get on the phone and give someone who what for.
Yeah, no, I don't know what the glitches are. There's a lot to do with this software, the housing software, than just this. And some of the accounts were memorized from before, and they weren't right, so I'd have to go in, and sometimes I'll be honest, I won't catch the memorization, but like the rubbish one, that's obviously a software thing.
Right,
So I don't,
got it.
but
Thank you.
rest assured that the fee accountants always allocate it appropriately, because they go over this every month.
Good.
Yep.
Thanks.
I had one question. I saw you put a new door in the office. Was that, was the door broken or is it accommodating?
It was a very, not very solid door. It was a half barn door. It was very loose. We have trouble locking it at night. I wanted a solid core door in that, especially where this isn't locked. It just made sense to put in a solid core standard door that we can lock easily.
Is the office allowed?
It is,
Okay, good.
yes.
And that's safeguard security, right?
Yes, for $60, I think, every 3 months.
Kathy, and South Shore Tractor for tractor replacement parts for $780.
That was the mower guard, the blower catcher, the guard off the side. You know what I mean.
Shoot.
The good news is Derek is very handy, and typically we buy the parts and he does a lot of the repairs for that stuff.
And I also was wondering about the Aqua Point invoice. O&E, I'm sure that means
That's
something.
operational maintenance. And then the other was a testing. That was for DEP. And the
Okay,
NEO solution is a chemical that they purchase. Typically, we'll get the bills from the chemical company, but this particular solution will only sell to them and not to us. So they buy it and then they give us a copy of the invoice and they mail it along with their bill.
And this was for testing that had to go to the DEP?
That's additional testing for
Okay,
DEP, yeah, so
thanks.
that's why that bill, normally the bill is $57.08 a month, but that one's a little
Mhm.
higher because of the testing and the Neo solution.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any further questions or comments regarding the October warrant? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That's unanimous. Agenda item number 3, financial statements for September and October 2019.
I have one question, Kathy, on the 667,705, 400C budget, there's apartment rehab and $9,123 in cost, and there's nothing budgeted for that. I thought that DHCD required us to separate that and budget that out. I don't know if you've spoken to Dan about that, or if you
I
mentioned
have,
it.
they've put that there, I think they're gonna move some of it to contract costs, but we've had an exorbitant amount of vacancies that we didn't plan for. One of the units alone was, I wanna say almost $4,000 in repair when you do cabinets and everything.
Yeah, the number, I'm not worried about the number.
Yeah.
A number actually looks pretty low considering the cost of
Mhm.
turning over units. It just was the fact that there was no number put there for budget. We know that,
Yeah, there's a reason he did that, and for the life of me, right now, I
Okay.
can't remember what the rationale is, but I think if you don't run up to that dollar amount, they're gonna be citing you now, if I'm not mistaken,
well,
or
the
something
10%,
to that
the
effect.
10% variance, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you're gonna have to change that anyways because your variance
Right.
is 100%.
yeah, so, and he does all that, you know, a lot of that stuff, obviously, I rely on them pretty heavily for.
I have a question on account number 3691. It's other income retained on the, I think this is the September one. Yes, $51,107.
That's the credits from the net metering, that's the money that we're retaining for that,
Great.
that we get to keep currently, for now.
For the
For
time
now.
being.
Yeah, for
Yes.
now.
Thank you.
You don't hear that, big heavy?
They're always teasing us that,
I complained about it not too long ago, but I don't feel like I made any headway.
Any other questions or concerns regarding the financials for September and October?
No, you're doing well.
yeah.
I would entertain a motion to accept and put on file.
So moved?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Agenda item number 3, the minutes of the September 10th, 2019 meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Tebow, second by Commissioner Christianchidi. Any discussion? She is thorough, Kathy, I'll
Yeah,
tell you that.
very good.
I don't remember from when I read this 2 days ago.
It just saw highlighted.
I know. I have to refresh my memory from 2 days ago. Oh, I remember her talking about this now, sitting here. I canceled the questions.
Well, you can always give her a call if something comes up, so.
Thanks.
No further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Agenda item number 4, amendment number 12, CFA 5001, 26 Concord Ave, funding revised HILAT from DHCD approval needed.
What's this doing, Kathy?
They're just recategorizing the money and reclassifying it. If you see on the first page, the HILAP award is $140,000, and then they're making the new award out of the Public Housing Innovative Demonstration Program of $25,000. They deducted the $10,000 we already spent on the architect for Quonicket, But basically, they're saying they just had to revise the CFA on that and have us sign a new one, but we're still getting the funding. And they just renamed it. And they have, upon approval, 2 original contracts they'll have to have you sign for financial assistance to approve that CFA.
They're accounting for the money they're giving us a little differently.
Yes, yes.
I'll
But
make
we
a
have
motion to
something, yeah.
approve the CFA.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Tebow, second by Commissioner Chris Anshidi. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Dennis, can I have you sign these 2 originals, and I'll have to sign them, please, or not? While we're on Paquonicket too, if I may, I had an email, we were supposed to close on Paquonicket this Friday, so I hadn't heard from anybody, and I emailed our attorney today, and he hadn't heard from anybody, and I called Wayne over at Community Preservation, and he says they're still waiting on a signed P&S from the town. They also want to do asbestos testing on the house, and they still need approval from the selectmen to move forward with the funding. So he told me we're about 3 weeks out, yet his attorney told our attorney today that he doesn't see any issues and we're set to go. So, right now as it stands, it doesn't look like we're closing on Friday, and it could be another 3 weeks out.
Has to go before the selectmen.
I know, and I apparently hasn't. I know Wayne was on vacation for quite some time, and that might be part of it. But we did place the ad for RFPs to purchase a new home. So hopefully this won't interfere with that, and I'm gonna stay on them at this point, because we need to move forward with this. So with any luck, it will be before the end of the year.
Because you're gonna have to, I was reading that, and if we reach a deadline, there's things that you're gonna have to repeat doing, correct?
We already agreed that we're gonna take this. They were supposed to have purchased the home within 30 days of us accepting the offer, but that's language that we really can get around. We're already in the midst of it. And I did tell them that we can let them in to do the asbestos testing before we close on it. I have no problem opening the door and letting them in to do that, so. And they needed some information from the fire department too, approving that there were no smoke detectors in the house, but a smoke detector wouldn't do any good because the power was shut off, and they're gonna tear it down anyhow, so. So that's where it stands currently.
Real estate transaction amongst government entities are very difficult.
Yeah.
For good reasons,
Oh, yeah.
but I'm glad they're still working through it.
Oh, yeah.
We've waited 5 years.
Not the lack of trying, that's for sure.
Any further comments? No? Moving on to agenda item number 5, RCAT nomination email.
I just wanted the board to see that I sent that off to Fatima, nominating Mrs. Sheedy.
You could have lost it, that would have been fine.
Have you heard anything?
I haven't either.
No.
All right, moving on to agenda item number 6, Executive Director's Report. No splits.
The leaching field over at Chandler Way, it was determined the leaching field has failed,
Yes,
so that's significant.
yes it is. It's a
Yeah.
big problem.
Are we going to go into a wastewater type treatment plant need, or can we replicate what we have there?
My understanding is hopefully we're just going to be able to replace the leaching field.
Okay.
Graves is obviously a house doctor, DHCD, they're already involved. DHCD, we had to revise the capital improvement plan. I had to send a letter requesting emergency funding. We're hoping DHCD is gonna help fund part of this. That system was just redone in 2008 too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pumps only have about 500 hours on them, the 2 pumps down there, and it's still in great condition. Whether they can just move the leaching field, the problem is, the leaching field's getting so saturated because it's right next to the wetlands,
Yeah, I see the water run down there, and it rains, it's a river.
For a while, when sewers would come down to pump the tanks, we'd ask them, and they'd say, oh, it's just gray water, it's backwater running from that. Well, it was, however, when they turned the pumps on, it immediately started bubbling up in the leaching field. So it can't handle the saturation. So whether they can move it to the other side, I don't know if they can. The other side, if it's too close to the homes on that side,
Yeah.
I don't know, so they're investigating that. It's gonna, so the paving has halted because obviously we're not gonna do the paving if we didn't have to dig stuff up. So I believe DHCD will probably give us the funding. We've already sent the letter out, we've already revised the CIP and submitted it. We're working with DHCD, and my RCAP even got involved because he had started helping us with this.
Excellent.
And hopefully they'll give us the funding to do that.
What did you revise the CIP to reflect? Because you don't have an estimate, do you?
The septic, yeah. Yeah, they did, probably 250,000, and then 60 for the pavement.
Do we have enough land to relocate the leaching
I
fields?
don't know the answer to that, because I'm not sure where the wetlands are down there. And it will be a while, I believe, before they get down 106 that far for the wastewater treatment and
Yeah, that's
stuff,
what I'm gonna ask. They're not going
which is unfortunate.
nearly that far, are they? I don't think.
No,
No.
yeah, it'll be quite a while,
No, that's it.
so.
We're not gonna get into an EPA thing like we did here. Either.
I don't know. Because of the wetlands, it concerns me.
You mentioned that the pumps were working fine,
The pumps are practically brand new, they only have
And
about
so
500
it's-
hours on them each.
because typically with a septic system, if you have things being put into the septic system that shouldn't be, such as baby wipes, coffee grounds, we have a list because we recently, anyways. You would ask the residents to try to be more diligent, but when the wrong things go down, usually the pumps will have difficulty.
It's not the pumps, it's the leaching field. It's just oversaturated, it can't handle everything.
Well, let's hope that it is just the tanks maybe need to be replaced, start fresh.
And it's funny you mention that, because we had to have sewers come out twice last week. We had these tanks pumped 2 weeks ago, 3 18-wheelers, which we have to do, to pump these tanks on an annual basis. A week later, it was all back up, we were in alarm, we called them, the system and the filters were clogged with wipes. So we put out notices to all the tenants, again requesting no wipes, no Depends, no anything. They came back the following week. There were Depends, there were puppy pads, all clogged up in there again. Twice we've had to have them come out in 2 weeks because people are flushing things down the toilet.
I'm gonna email you the list that we have.
Oh, we've
So
sent out the
having
list.
coffee
we put it-
grounds, grease, disinfecting wipes, diapers,
Right, flushable wipes.
oatmeal.
Depends, yeah. Most of it, the pumps, we don't have a chopper. I guess that's a thing. The
A grinder
choppers
pump?
that you can buy and you put them before the pumps.
Yeah,
which-
grinder pump, I think they
Yes.
call it.
Whether that's something we look into the future, I don't know, but it's just tough with the population we have. A lot of people
Right.
aren't realizing. They see
Yeah.
that it's flushable and they think it is when it's not.
Right, that's the problem, the packaging
Yeah,
is misleading.
yeah, so we're gonna have some pretty hefty septic pumping bills this month.
I would love for us to look at getting the grinder pump.
Yeah, I have to see what the cost for something like that is and if it can even be added to this particular, why they didn't think of it to the
Yeah, I
degree
don't
that
think it's a
system
perfect
is.
solution.
Yeah,
I think it was 4 digits.
Yeah,
We're looking at 4 digits for a grinder pump.
okay.
but I also think it grinds it up and eventually it causes the
It
same.
still causes
it
the same
delays
issue.
it, Delays the issue, that's as I understand it.
So anyways, that's the scenario with the paving job at Chandler Way.
And then Greg wants you to get some air source heat pumps.
I'm thinking that that's where they're wanting to be pushing us, yes. They want to know what else we've done. We've done everything.
Yeah, I have definition of high electrical cost. What's the definition of high electrical cost?
I didn't ask them.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have excessive washer and dryers here, the dryers, the lights you said you've done, the heat, what's the heat?
It's electric heat.
Electric heat.
We are still working on thermostats. Last we wanted specific heat limiting thermostats, and at the time, I think it was Deb Paul, it might not have been, I can't remember which of the energy gurus we were working with, wouldn't approve the particular ones we wanted, that were easy enough for the elderly to use, but also would limit the heats, and they didn't approve them. Now we have a new one, we're gonna try to work on getting new thermostats again. We've already insulated all the attics, and quite honestly, I think electric heat is a great way to go. We don't have the repairs. I've dealt with the gas and the oil, and the repairs to those boiler systems is ridiculous.
So what it does is it transfers the cost of your utility from their reimbursement to your operating budget.
Oh.
And it can be a problem, can it?
So I'm hoping that we don't have to go that route, because I had said to them before, if they wanted us to get SOS heat pumps, they were gonna give that $10,000 allotment to get them maintained at one point in time. Do you remember them talking about that?
They're gonna maintain them?
To maintain them, they were gonna give you an allowable $10,000 to maintain them, and I had said to them, well, that would be handy, I could hire a part-time maintenance person that you pay no benefits to, that would be their sole purpose. And they said no. I said, well, I don't think we're gonna go that way, so I don't, my feeling is that's where they're gonna
$10,000
try
would
to go.
not cover the cost of maintaining
They're saying
194
it
units.
would to hire out to a company. There was a company that they talked
No.
about at that time.
My bills run from 12 to 15,000
I'm sure,
for 60 to 90 units.
yeah, and we'd have 184.
Mhm.
So we'll see what happens with that.
Especially when you're paying prevailing wage rate.
Exactly.
Are there efficiency things within the apartments, like making sure that windows are closed when we have weather like today and the
You can't enforce a lot of that stuff, you can do your best, but you have a lot of people that like the heat on, but they want the fresh air, so they crack the window. And you can ask them not to, but
And the other thing I was thinking is the air conditioning units can let a lot of heat out too. Are they, putting a cover on them or something?
no. Especially here, because a lot of the windows have to actually be physically removed because of the design, and the air conditioners stay in year round.
Do they put covers on them?
I don't know. Not on the outside of them. Some on the second floor, so they really couldn't
Is that anything we've ever considered?
find covers for them. No, I've never. Because that would mean maintenance would have to put them on, and with the personal property of the resident would have damaged their air conditioner. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean,
Yes.
Yeah, if they
See what
start
happens with
pressuring us
that.
with these air source heat pumps. I mean, I know we went through this. I remember Chrisanne giving
Yeah.
us some statistics from her experiences with it, and I
and
turned
not just
me
hers, there's
off to
several
it.
directors that are saying the same.
There you go.
Craig's on the newer end of this as well, so.
Yeah, I've never even heard of him before.
He took Betsy Harper's place.
Okay.
And, I think, probably trying to make his mark. And not
Maybe-
super familiar.
Maybe he just failed to see that we have net metering.
Which we're only
Yeah.
gonna see the benefits of for what, another year?
I don't know. Is it?
All right, any other comments or suggestions or anything regarding the executive director's report? Hearing none, agenda item number 7, resident questions and comments. Folks?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Say if I wanna put up some Christmas lights over at my unit, is that allowed?
Kathy?
Inside your unit, yeah.
Okay, but
Yes.
outside?
I don't know that it's really allowed. If the guy's trimming bushes, some people might take offense to it. it's a tough situation.
Okay.
There's no policy on that, no.
No policy.
On Christmas lights, no, that's not a policy that we have. And then there's the cost. I know that's minimal, but, you know, we were just discussing electricity. If everybody wants to put up Christmas lights, it increases the electricity bills and, you know.
Who pays for those lights up there?
We do. Those have been here since I've been here. I don't have any idea.
They've been low.
Yeah, they've been here forever, so I don't have any idea on that one.
The day that bucket loader thing that Derek drives, it got stuck over here, and I saw him like pulling at it, and then it was gone. Then, 3-4 days later, I saw it coming back on a tow truck. So if he fixed it, what was it doing on a tow truck?
He doesn't fix everything. He fixes a lot of the parts and things, but if there's stuff he can't fix, it goes out. He does a lot of the service maintenance on it and things of that nature, but he can't fix everything, especially on that big piece of equipment. It's too big for our tow, so that's why it gets towed out to the company to have it repaired.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions, comments? Christmas party is
The 4th.
the 4th.
Oh, excuse me. I do have one about the flyers that were put up about a person to be here to look out for the people. You had spoken about it last meeting with Norton. Service coordinator.
Yeah?
Has anything come in on that?
No, it was a grant we applied for, and I don't know when we'll hear if we got it or not.
Okay, because I did meet the man that lives here, and he seems quite qualified working in that industry.
Well, whoever would apply would have to apply for the job, and they would have to have a social worker's degree.
Okay, social.
Anything else, folks? Hearing none. Next meeting, December 10th.
December 10th.
Any objections? The 10th it is, 5 o'clock.
Make a motion to adjourn?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye. Happy Thanksgiving to all.
Yeah.
And you.
And to all of you.